All right. All right. So now that it is 3:02, Rohit, do you think it's good to begin now?
Yes, Madhuri, you can go ahead and start.
We'll go ahead. All right. I'd also request Asha to, okay, sorry. No request for Asha. All right. So, let me present my screen first. All right. So let's say there's this person in your team or somewhere, who works, who's closely associated with you, and he's somebody who gets the deals done, right? What would you call him? What are the words you would use to describe him? You can give me verbal responses, or you can also drop your responses on the chat box.
Persuasive.
Persuasive, okay. What else would you use? That's a good one.
Deal maker.
Okay, deal maker. Wow. Go getter. I want maybe a word with more weight. Go getter, smart, deal breaker. Okay, manager. All right. Any more words? Champion. All right. More words. I'll take a few more responses. Conqueror. Okay. Yeah, let me repeat. There's this person who gets deals done, and he's the one to go meet people, and he's the one who gets the business moving. What would you call such kind of people? What's that adjective you would use to describe him? Proactive, leader, who knows the pulse of the client. Okay. Critical resource, closer. Okay. Wow, I'm glad. Such rich vocabulary. What if I call him influential? Would you say okay to that, or you think influential is too big a word? Decisive leader. Okay. So I'm calling him influential. You think it's a good word to call such people?
Okay. Yeah. So just to
you can show me a thumbs up.
What we're going to cover today. So the topic for today is this account creation for Google Cloud.
All right. So let us say you all want to become influential, or I'm just assuming so. Would you all want to become influential, get the deals done, and get the business moving? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And you can show your response by showing a thumbs up again. Okay, I can see a few thumbs ups. Going forward, I have one more question to ask. Do you think that can happen overnight? Not really. Yeah, it's like an investment. You need to begin doing that today, and eventually you will become something that people can call influential. Anyway, there are more ways to become influential. But before that, I think I'd like to introduce a beautiful theory to all of you. To do that, I'll have to ask you a few more questions on a few more slides. Going forward, look at this one. What advertisement do you think this is? When you see this one, what is that thing you remember?
Doctor or dentist?
That's a dentist. Wow. And you've gotten the brownie. And this by far is the most popular template for any toothpaste advertisement. Even today, I think this template is really famous. Why do you think?
Because they are selling it as an expert advice, and whenever they say they are expert in that field, that influences people more.
That influences. Lovely. I think you nailed the answer. What do these people called experts create in public? What do they create?
So there is an image that the doctor wears this white coat and has this lab. So a perspective is being created over here.
Okay. So I'll tell you one more word. I'll again ask you whether you want to agree with it or not. This doctor, this person called doctor, the person wearing this white coat is creating trust in you that you can trust this product. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Going forward, not just this particular ad, there are a lot of advertisements where these people are selling a lot of things. Yes or no? You must have watched a lot of advertisements.
Yes.
All of these people are employed primarily to create that element of trust in the buyers, right? So that is the first part. Going forward, there's one more picture that I'd like to show all of you. Look at this one. Which ad do you think this is?
Matrimonial ad?
Matrimonial, okay, good guess.
Jewelry.
Jewelry, wow. Lovely. This is the ad for Riva. Now just tell me, how many jewelry ads have the same scene? At least 70%, yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Because that is the occasion where you will wear the jewelry probably.
That is the occasion?
Yeah, association of that thought of buying jewelry with the certain events.
Lovely, lovely. So they associate the idea of buying jewelry for a certain event. And if elderly people are watching this, they imagine their son's or daughter's wedding. And if young people are watching, they imagine themselves to be the bride or the groom, right? And so the entire thing I would want to call as emotional connect. Yes or no? These advertisements are trying to connect with the buyers emotionally. And that's why this is one of the most popular templates for jewelry selling.
Yep.
Yeah, previously we've seen trust, now we've seen emotion, and there's one more element to this, the whole idea of persuasion. Going forward, what ad, not just this particular one, and this is one of the most popular pictures on the web. See, Apple, Mercedes, and Gucci, all of these, they sell emotions, not products. Apple sells exclusivity, Mercedes sells status, and Gucci sells luxury. And everything is feeling. Yeah, if you see all of these ads, they somehow connect emotionally with the buyers. Going forward, like I said earlier, I'll show you one more template. What do you think this ad is?
Camera?
Sorry?
Is it some camera kind of thing? 3x?
Yeah, camera kind of a thing. Any more guesses?
Mobile.
Sorry?
Mobile.
Mobile, okay. Which phone do you think this is?
OnePlus.
OnePlus, okay. Good guess. In the hierarchy, what after OnePlus? When we are all good enough to buy OnePlus, the next thing we target to buy is?
Maybe Samsung.
Okay. It's this one.
Okay.
Okay. Why do you think they have specified something on the camera? They put this 3 in 2. What is that? How does that influence?
That is 3x zoom they can do.
Exactly.
Like you can do.
So they're talking numbers. And I think the advertisement, it says 3 into optical zoom. Something like that. I don't remember the exact words from the advertisement, but it talks about how you can capture clear images even in low light, and also pictures with maximum zoom will still be clear. It talks on these lines. So here I would call this logic. logical. They're giving you numbers, they're giving you data and statistics. So these three are the elements, and not just phone ads, but now I think recently there's this app called Spotify, which is marketing its product beautifully. And so this is the latest trend. Look at this billboard, or you would want to call this what do we call this here? Locally we call this a hoarding. Yeah, hoarding or billboards. Look at this. The picture says, dear person who played Sorry. Sorry is a song, the popular song, 42 times on Valentine's Day. And the entire billboard is dedicated to that listener, to that person. And so these people are saying, people are using Spotify, and there was a particular subscriber who repeatedly listened to this song 42 times on a given day, right? The trend in marketing. The entire idea is to tell people that people are listening repeatedly to songs on this app called Spotify. Again, use of numbers. So let me present to all of you the combination of all these three elements: ethos, pathos, and logos, or credibility, emotion, logic. Any idea? What do you think this theory is called as? Anybody who has seen this earlier somewhere? This is called as the rhetoric. Heard of this word? Rhetoric has been in use at least from, let's say, 2000 years. And this one is the only theory in marketing, only theory in selling a products. Any given advertisement, any given marketing agency, they're just going to use the same theory, ethos, pathos, and logos to sell or market their products. Now I know you have a question. Why are you bothering us with this marketing related videos? How are we even marketing? All of us are not from the marketing department. What do you think? So now please tell me, where or how do you think you all will have to persuade people in your daily work lives?
While assigning some work also, sometimes we need to persuade. They may say they are overloaded, still we have to persuade.
Yeah, beautifully said. All the business people, they are persuading investors, no, to fund their startups or to fund their businesses. Yes, persuasion is seen there.
Yeah.
And the people called managers, leads, directors, what are they doing? How are they using persuasion?
We are not calling it as a persuasion, but we are calling it motivation for them to work.
Okay, maybe a slightly positive word. See, this idea called persuasion is always seen in negative light. But let me tell you, I know you all have heard of this person called Warren Buffett. Heard of the name, right? He is the person who proudly displays a certificate of communications, persuasion, public speaking, something. I don't exactly remember the name of the certificate, but that is something to do with persuasion, communication, and public speaking. And that certificate is the only thing he puts up proudly on the wall in his office. And that he calls is the only skill that is required to survive in business. And that becomes a fundamental skill. It's not just a soft skill anymore. And that is the only skill that can help people attract investors, or to sell products, or to inspire team members, or maybe to trigger action. All of this, the only skill that is required is this one. Yeah. And I think it's important to also stop looking at this one in low light, under negative light, right? All the salespeople or CEOs or leaders, whomever you want to call them, they're just using this in order to get the work done, right? So like I said earlier, it's going to be an investment, and we have to begin today in order to reap the fruit some years down the line. And I said that these are the three elements. Let me also put them in words. So yes, I said rhetoric. Sorry, I have a question. Do I have a question? Somebody put up the help for me. Yeah, I think Syed, thank you for adding. Yeah, the certificate he proudly displays is okay, Dale Carnegie's course in effective speaking and leadership training. Wow, nice. Thank you for adding. All right. So yes, ethos or credibility, it talks about who you are and what authority do you have on the topic. How are you credible to tell something? That is ethos for you. And logos is how clear and consistent is your saying, is your reasoning. What are the numbers? What are the statistics? Or what is the data that you have as a proof? And how can I measure my data against your data, against the facts that you are mentioning? And the last one and the most important one is pathos or emotion. How vivid or memorable is your message? This is, the 3-element triangle, that is the rhetoric. Going forward, let us see how we can become influential through daily actions. I think I have about 10 of them, and we're going to discuss each of them in detail. When you meet somebody for the first time, right, be it an informal introduction or a formal introduction, how do you think you will introduce yourself? Can I get a verbal response, please? How do you think you would like to introduce yourself?
Okay, thanks. Tell about ourselves and
Mhm.
try to get a response from them on the similar
You would
lines.
look at the target audience, who is the person to whom you are trying to introduce. I mean, the narrative that you put for yourself should also be inferred from the profile of the person you are interacting with. I mean, yeah, for example, if it is someone from a C level, your introduction would be different from that of peer-to-peer communication. I mean, it depends on the person with whom you are interacting with, your target audience and purpose.
Beautiful.
Context, what's the context? Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So for this introduction, a powerful introduction or an influential introduction, as we would want to call it, there is a beautiful name to that. Any idea? Elevator pitch? Heard of this word?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why is this thing called as an elevator pitch?
It's a short pitch which can be given during a short ride of elevator. As in, it can be something which can be given within 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Lovely, beautiful. You said that exactly. It should be crisp, short, concise, brief, whatsoever, so that it can be done or it can be told in the duration of an elevator ride, which is actually less than 1 minute. Yes, this popular idea is, these famous people, business people, they give appointments to people who want to meet them when they go from one floor to the other. And they'll have to sell their product, or they'll have to, maybe influence them to hire them as consultants, whatever, in that span. In 30 seconds, if you are influencing me, if you're trying to tell me how you can help me, you will be hired or you will be fired. That's the whole idea. And that's the origin of the word. So, well, like one of you just said, I think your introduction should always contain elements that talk about how your work will help the opposite party. And one of you said it will depend upon the audience. And yes, that's exactly right. So a good elevator pitch is something which has what you are and how is that of importance to the listeners. Right? That's a good elevator pitch. If you just read the one that's given here, I wouldn't want to call this a perfect elevator pitch, but I think I like some elements in this particular pitch. He's talking about the mission of the company, what the company does, right? And he also is talking about the company's value proposition. And he's talking about how clients are important for them and how they're benefiting the clients. He's using some numbers, right? So if you think you are doing an introduction in front of a business set of people, as in front of clients or in front of people who are giving you work, I think it's nice if you use data, numbers, and whatever you do. And recently I watched a video where one person was introducing himself. He was a web designer, and he said, I'm somebody who makes your web pages look beautiful, and I make those web pages easy to work on. That's what he said, which is very easily understandable to all kinds of audiences. And he didn't say I'm an expert with cascading style sheets. If he said cascading style sheets, people who know CSS only would understand. But for him, it's important that everybody understands what he does. So he said, I'm somebody who makes your web pages look beautiful. So simplifying your introduction is another catch. So you can do that also. And you can read a lot, and you can just see and fix what kind of elevator pitches work for you. And the whole idea is to make it relevant to the listeners. Going forward, I think I'll ask you a question here. Let's say you meet somebody for the first time, or you're working as close associates with somebody, okay? No, I'll ask you a different question. Let's say you're traveling on a flight or a train or a bus. You have not observed who's sitting next to you or who's sitting opposite or wherever. You're reading a book. After some time, you lift your head and you see somebody else sitting opposite, and they're also reading a book. And when both of you close the book, you both realize that you're reading the same book, right? How would you react? A co-passenger who's traveling along with you on a flight or a bus or a train, you discovered that you both are reading the same book. How would you react?
Feel surprised. Maybe it's a coincidence.
You'll feel surprised, okay? Excited?
We'll try to break a conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. You will somehow at least smile. If you're not a conversation person, you will at least smile when you both look at each other. Yes or no?
Yes.
And conversation, I think, is something that will happen. Beautifully said. So I think that is important even when we are working with close associates. It's nice if you highlight the similarities. How did all of us make friends? Randomly? Go back to your school, college days. How did this something called friendship happen between people? I know you're all going back and thinking about those friends you had in school and college days.
Same interests.
Yeah.
Similar interests.
Definitely. Similar interests is something that hooks people. And it's really important when we're closely working, be it a set of clients or client's team or your own team. It's nice if you highlight the similarities, not just the regular similarities. You can go out of the box. Let's say you both are good marathon runners, or you both are gym rats. You can talk about that. So that thing will definitely enhance the bond between you. And here, which one of the three elements do you think is happening? We spoke about ethos, pathos, logos. What element is happening here?
Emotion.
Emotion. Lovely. Pathos, the connect, the emotional connect. So that's exactly what is happening here. Highlighting the similarities is very important. Of course, we realize there are similarities, but we somehow do not think that it is very important to highlight them. So highlighting is something that has to happen going forward. Let us say you have, you're in a new apartment, all right? So there's this neighbor who has kids and all, and so those people, they came over to you. And they invited you to their kid's birthday party or something. Okay, you went to them, and they hosted you. You felt nice. You came back, right? After a few days, there's a certain celebration at your family. What do you think you'll do? Will you go invite them, or you think, no, I'm not going to invite them. Let's just do it internally. What do you think is possible?
Definitely invite them.
Definitely invite them. Wow, I love that adverb you said. Definitely. You will force yourself. Even some of your family members are stopping you. It's okay, we'll do it. But you will still make it a point to go invite them just because they hosted you and they made you feel nice at their place. You want to return it. Not just you. It is human tendency to return the favor. And that in psychological terms is called as the norm of reciprocity. You get and you return. So here, the whole idea is to just make it a culture to exchange favors. Let's say somebody has a requirement and you can volunteer to help them with whatever they're facing or with whatever they're going through, and they'll definitely come back to you and they'll help you when you want some help. That's called as norm of reciprocity. And again, here, I'd like to ask you all, what do you think is happening? Ethos, pathos, or logos?
Pathos.
Pathos, as simple as that. Let me go forward. There are a lot of ways to, kind of establish this kind of a connect. Yeah, better cooperation, long-lasting relationships, and greater efficiency. Yes, definitely yes. All right. Can I ask one of you, is any of your birthdays in the near future? Nobody's.
Not
Okay.
this month. Yeah.
Okay, somewhere next month. All right, August. Divya is saying August. Okay, I'll ask Divya because she mentioned August. Divya, you received this beautiful card on your birthday via email. Your team is sending you this one. So tell us your idea. How do you like it? You like it? Okay, Divya is saying, wow. All right. Now, I'll go to, okay, she's saying, I feel good. I'll ask Soumya. Soumya said it's in June. All right. So Soumya also got a mail, right? And Soumya, tell us, how do you like the card? You got this card from your team. They sent you the same card. You like it? You have something to say? Vinay got it. Vinay is talking to me on the chat box. He says the name of the person is missing, right? When every person, everybody on the team, everybody in the organization is getting the same card on their birthdays, the next time you get happy birthday email, will you open it? Will not open it, yes or no? Yeah, Ketki is saying this feels generic. You definitely know, it's the same card I've gotten on my last birthday, and my teammate has gotten the same card on his or her birthday. So I'm not going to open the email, right? That is exactly what happens when you do not personalize things that you send to people, right? And there's one more thing. There are these beautiful templates. Template is just the same. The message is just the same. Okay, this so-called trainer asked us to write the name. So I'll write I'll write the name and I'll send the card. I'll read out a birthday message. So happy birthday, Ketki. You are an asset to the team. That's the template. Again, the same thing goes to everybody. Happy birthday, XYZ. You are an asset to the team. How do you think that is? I've added something, no? I said, happy birthday, the name of the person, and you are an asset to the team.
Oh, it has to be specific.
Awesome. Awesome. That's the whole thing. When you're personalizing, you are personalizing it, as simple as that. You're not making it generic, not even just for two people. Yeah, it can't just be copy paste. Now, if I ask you, it's not just the birthday message that goes, right, from people who work as close associates. What do you all keep sending on a daily basis? And how do you think you can personalize them?
With the help of AI and machine learning.
With the help of?
AI and machine learning.
Okay, with the help of machine learning, yes. Thanks to technology, we have a lot of ways, we have a lot of tools to personalize things with very less manual work. And trust me, the next time you want to simply copy paste and send it, don't send it, because forget about it adding value. It will actually, even worsen the relationship. They're like, same thing he's sending. He doesn't even have time to write my name. That's what they think. If you're wanting to send the same message without any change, don't send it. Just stop it. It's still fine. And trust me, personalization, not just in messages, in marketing, everywhere. Personalization is known to exactly boost the sales, boost the performance, boost productivity whatsoever. I'll tell you a beautiful story. This coffee shop called Barista, heard of it? Yeah, very popular.
Yes.
So this Barista,
Yes.
yeah. So what do they do when they serve coffee? They write your name on the cup. Anybody have had the experience of drinking coffee from a personalized cup at Barista?
Only at Starbucks, not at Barista.
No, okay, whatever. So why do you think they do that?
Personalization, I think, or also I think they enjoy spelling people's names incorrectly.
Wow, wow, lovely, lovely. You're not wrong at all. I'll tell you the story of
So
Barista.
make you,
Barista. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, to make you feel special.
Again, emotional connect with customers, pathos.
Lovely, lovely. To make you feel special, emotional connect with the customers, all of that. The story of Barista was running a campaign where they wanted to recycle all the cups. And the cups that were personalized, meaning on which the customers' names were written, they landed in the recycle bin. They had increased number of cups falling in the recycle bin. People became responsible when the cups were personalized. I'm not making up this story. This is there. So yeah, that's the beauty of personalization. So the next time when you're sending a report to your client, when you're sending, let's say, what is an SOP, whatever, any kind of document you're sending to your client or to one of your team members, make sure you add one line, at least one line telling that this mail or this message is specific to them. You can begin the mail by writing a specific sentence which is targeting the relationship you have with them. You can just say, it was great joy working with you on this assignment, something like that. It's you who best knows how you can personalize the message or the mail that you're sending that person. And just trigger your own creativity and you will never be short of ideas going forward. Okay. All right. So now I think I have a news for you. You tell me whether it's good or bad. Tomorrow, Value Labs office is opening. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Relax. So now let's say office is opening up and they're calling you all back to office, right? And somehow all of you, I know, just like my formals and my wardrobe, all of your wardrobes must have gone to dogs. So your formals are all out of shape and all of that. So you go to a shop to just pick some quick formal shirt to go to office tomorrow. Women, I think I'm very sorry because I've only gotten a men's thing. I think, please don't be angry with me. So this one is the only shirt that's available. And the shop person says, "Arey sir, all the offices are opening. This is the only thing that's available. The entire thing is sold out." So now tell me, you like this shirt or not? If you like, you thumbs up. You can thumbs up. If you don't like, you can thumbs down.
No choice, right?
I'm coming to that. This is the only one that is there, is what he says. You like it or not? I'm waiting for your thumbs ups and thumbs downs. And I also asked for forgiveness from women. Okay, there are some thumbs ups, there are some thumbs downs.
So even if you like it or not, there is no choice.
You don't have a choice, right? So because you're so disappointed, you request the shop wala, okay? Arey bhaiya, please go find something. I'm really in an urgency. Please go get something. So then this fellow goes inside. He searches the shops inside out, and he brings one more. Now you tell me, which one would you pick? And on the chat box, you can type white or black. Black. Somebody said black, 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 black. Somebody said made the matter worse. Black, black. Okay, okay, lovely. Now the actual question is, when you all had only one option, how difficult was it to decide? When the second option came up, how did it make your job easy? I'm sorry for Ashish because he's saying it made the matter worse.
We get to compare the shirt.
Yeah. Shobha's given me the answer. She said comparison. This is exactly what happens when you give a choice. It becomes very difficult for people to decide when they just have one item. Why do you think it's difficult? Why is it difficult? Let me repeat my question. When there is just one item on the shelves, why is it difficult to decide?
The habit of comparison.
Okay, the habit of comparison. All right.
And people always have hope there will be something better than what I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
People are keen to see some other options as well.
People are eager to see options. Yes, all of you are right. When there is just one item, what happens? Our minds always have something called as the best option that exists only inside our minds. It does not exist anywhere in the shelf. We have a fancy or vivid imagination where we have beautiful houses, beautiful cars, beautiful dresses, beautiful everything. But when you go to a shop and let's say there's only one item, you always compare this with that best product you have created inside your head, right? And when this item on the shelf is not matching the best product in your head, you will make it difficult for yourself to decide whether you want to take it or not. Yes or no? That is exactly when this white thing came up as a savior. Right? When the white thing came up, what we do is we compare black shirt with the beautiful shirt in our brain, and we compare white shirt with the beautiful image in our brain again. So people who think black shirt is closest to the mind image, they'll take the black shirt. And if you think white shirt is the closest, you will take white shirt. That is exactly what happens when you start comparing. You're not comparing between black and white. You're comparing the black and white with the image in your head. That is called as comparative approach. Even when you go in search of homes, you want to buy houses or rent houses, you always see what is better. You'll say, I got the house that was best of two. Right? This is one more way of persuading people. You think you have something to give your clients. You present them with two options and it will become easy for them to pick up. And if you think they come with a fancy imagination, you can first present what is less likely to be liked by them, and then you can present the best option. So they'll readily pick it up without any arguments. Any questions here? Or I made it more complicated for you?
It's clear.
Yeah. All right. Going forward, this is one approach that we can use when you're trying to sell something, not just a product. It could be an idea also. It could be just a say in a critical discussion. Everywhere, I think comparative approach works. Going forward, I think I have one more question to ask you. How many of you use an iPhone? I don't use it, so I don't know. How many of you use an iPhone?
So in last to last session only, we were introduced to rule of three.
Rule of three. Okay, which session was that? You remember? I usually do this in presentation skills, in storytelling, and also in persuasion, because that's the beauty of three. And thank you for telling that you have already seen rule of three. And this is for people who haven't seen.
Yes,
right?
It was for presentation.
Presentation skills. Yes. This thing is a beautiful idea. So it is a part of a lot of sessions actually. And lovely. So tell us what video did we watch?
We watched Steve Jobs presentation and then iPhone launch video.
Yeah, lovely. Anybody else who hasn't, who have not attended that session? Can you just imagine how Steve Jobs presented iPhone when he was launching it? Anybody watched the video on the web? Okay, Vimal is saying yes. Vimal, can you tell us, how did he introduce? Okay. No response. All right. I'll take you all to that video. It's just a 1-minute clip of the beautiful video where, Steve Jobs launched this product called iPhone. You just see this and come right back and I'll tell you how that is related to persuasion. I'm presenting the video for all of you. Okay, I'm hoping you're able to see my video.
Yes.
Please watch this and see what this man does.
It changed the entire music industry. Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is.
Wow. So yes, please tell us, how do you like it? And the crowds, they were so excited to see him present. What do you think drew their attention?
His narrative, he started with the products which were released in the past. People can associate with those products. iPod was already released in the market in the past. So he was drawing some examples. Phone, iPod, all those were something that audience was familiar with. And yeah, the way he collated all 3 features, saying it would be in one single device, that was
Lovely.
something catchy. Yeah.
Awesome.
For that time during 2007, getting 3 different features of 3 different devices in a single one, yeah, that was catchy.
Yes, lovely. And how many revolutionary products did he introduce? The number?
3.
3, exactly. And that is rule of 3 for you, not just in his presentations or in speeches. I think the entire Apple branding has rule of 3 in place. Take any product, they have a tagline which has 3 parts. The same thing for iPod, iPad, whatever. I think rule of 3 is very important. Why do you think this number 3 is special? People say 3 is very easy for the brain to remember. There's a scientific theory which says when something is 1, I think it's 2 less for the brain. And when it's 2, it's not enough. And when it's 3, it's just the right amount for the brain to process or remember it. And so it improves retention. So when we're presenting, I think it's nice if we make our presentation into 3 parts, the entire project into 3 parts. Or let's say, there are a lot of campaigns that run. I remember attending one of those, campaigns which talks about sustainable living. And the slogan was reduce, reuse, recycle, rule of 3. So rule of 3 can work wonders just because neurologically our brains are wired to remember things that are in 3s better. That's the whole idea. And even in Indian culture, we have a lot of sayings which are in 3s. Look at these few examples. And people who are from different languages, please forgive, I could only get these examples. And if you think you want to say something, I'm open to take your examples from your languages, from your native languages. Anybody from Kannada or Punjabi or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to tell us?
So exactly what needs to be done? Like,
Anything that has three parts, any saying or any adages, anything like that.
Recently, the climate change movement came up with a treaty, plant-based treaty, and they had
Awesome.
3 R's, basically a relinquish, a restore, redirect.
Relinquish, restore, and redirect. Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. Something like that. Awesome, awesome. Going forward, rule of 3 works magic. So if you want to employ rule of 3, I think you should begin doing it now, today, going forward. So we had a session previously about how you can tell stories in business. Telling stories is very important, because when you narrate, again, just like number 3, stories stick to people's minds. So there are a lot of fundamentals that we have to follow while telling stories. If any of you is interested in watching that session, I think I can provide the session link. Please drop a mail to learning and they'll share with you the session link of storytelling. It's a beautiful idea to tell stories. And to give you the brief of the session, while you are telling a story, it is just that you are narrating your experiences, as simple as that. You're not just saying what you have done. You're also telling us how you did something, what happened while you were doing something, where did you rise, where did you fall, what helped you rise and what made you fall, how did you come back. All of that will form a great story. You can tell stories about the experiences that you had while working on a project, the efforts that you have put, and how you grew, how you failed, and the people involved. Everything can be wrapped in the form of a story, and every story must have a beginning, and it will have a middle and an ending. And this middle is something called as a conflict, and how you resolved this conflict is your story. And there are decades of research, that says that stories are wired to stay with humans. They stay for a very long time, and that's the reason stories remain with us for a long time. If I ask you the thirsty crow story, any of you would be able to narrate. But if I ask you what is theory of relativity, not even 10% of you would be able to recall, because theory of relativity was not told to us in the form of a story. Yes or no? Similarly, yeah. In a lot of TED Talks, why do people attract? Why do TED Talks have so many views? All that they do in TED Talks is they tell their stories. They come and they'll not say, I'm an MBA, I'm a BTech, I'm an MTech. They come and they tell you their stories. How did they begin doing something and how did they fail? Followed by what exactly did they do and how did they rise? And if you do what they did, and how will that help you? And that is typically the format of a TED Talk, if you see, right? So that is the importance, that is the beauty of narratives. And if you are interested, please drop a mail. Like I said, I'm muting everybody. Yeah. Yes. That is storytelling for you going forward. And have you all ever had the opportunity to pursue e-courses from these learning platforms? Udemy or Coursera? You all have the habit of doing that? You can say yes or no. Yes, a lot of us, we do that. They are a great source of learning. So in these courses, there's this little bar on the top of the screen, right? And that bar tells you where you exactly are. How far have you come? How much of the course you have completed? You remember?
It's the progress bar.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What is that bar called as?
It's called
Progress bar.
Oh, it's a progress bar. Wow, I didn't know the name. So how do you think that bar influences you?
It gives a clear picture like where we stand as of today.
Awesome. And it also tells you how many more hours you have in order to get that certificate or in order to clear the course, right?
Correct.
So when they're doing this, how does it motivate you to do the course? Does it motivate you at all?
Yes.
It does. And that is exactly the purpose of that bar, to motivate you to finish the course. You have finished 1 hour, you have 3 more hours. You're done with 2 hours and 2 more hours to gain a certificate. And if you have ever used this language app, there's this popular language app. No, I'm suddenly not getting its name.
Duolingo?
Duolingo, lovely. Yes. How does that Duolingo remind you? You remember? It sends you notifications, messages reminding you of the progress that you have done. And it says, now you have done 15 hours. If you're not doing it today, you will lose all the hard work. Remember? These Duolingo people were chasing me with notifications. I was learning Spanish, and trust me, I enjoyed doing that thoroughly. And I can definitely say these reminders, the progress bar was something that kept me motivated to finish that learning Spanish until a certain extent. And now, how do you think you can use this one in your business meetings? Reminding progress or mentioning progress. How can you do this? Any idea? Yeah.
If we can keep on sharing updates,
Awesome.
like where we stand as of today,
Yes.
it will keep client also engaged in terms of.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It will tell the client also how far you have come. Every meeting, let's say, this project will take about 10 meetings with the client. And on 5th meeting, if you're reminding your own team and your client, hey, we're done with 50% of the work and we only have 50% more to finish the show. I think that's reminding them the work that they've done, and that's also reminding them how much more they have to go. Reminding people once in a while to tell them how much effort they have put in and how much more do they have in order to finish a particular project. So that's the beauty of mentioning progress. You can also design something called as a progress bar and keep people notified. Signposting or whatever you want to do. I know you have a lot of creative ways to do that as per your project or as per your requirement. Followed by mentioning progress is done. And let me ask you one more question. While you are in the last year of your college, how many of you joined this cat, mat, bat courses because your friends joined? How many of you joined UPSC coaching just because your uncle's daughter or uncle's son joined?
Yeah, I tried joining these bank.
Yes.
courses.
We go. Yeah, the entire bunch. Oh my God, 75% of my classmates have joined bank coaching. Let me also go and join. Right? So that for you is the power of people. People always do what more people are doing. Yes or no?
Yeah, generally we'll follow. We don't have some idea, so whatever others
Exactly.
follow, we
We
tend to
do.
go and.
Here, we can definitely use this theory in persuading. You can mention how many similar people are doing a particular thing in order to promote that idea. I think we must follow Slack for communication. I think businesses globally, 80% of the businesses are using Slack, and they say that communication, the communication has improved while they're using Slack. You know, and that little data is something that motivates people. Oh my God, 80% of the businesses are using Slack. Okay, let's go use Slack. So this is something you can use in order to keep people posted about how popular your idea is, how popular a particular product is, and how popular this particular idea is. So the power of people, I think the social, what do you call? The power of people, as you would call it. There's a word for it. I'm not able to kind of recall that. Social proof, yes. Social proof, as you would call it. Social proof is the best proof. So you can tell people or businesses or your clients about how many number of people have benefited from your work, how many number of businesses have bought your service or product, and how many number of businesses have reported an increase in sales by using your product, something like that. So this, how many people, is one template that you can blindly use to post people. And this for you is logos, logic. You're logically telling how your product is good. And we have come to the closure of today's session. Finally, while ending, how did you do? Let me ask you a question. When I ask you about your school, what do you remember? When I say school, what is something that you remember?
Friends.
Friends, okay.
The games we play.
The
During
games we
play
played.
time.
Also, what else?
School bell.
School bell, my God, crazy.
Basically, positive experiences, anything which gave us good memories or positive emotion. Yeah.
Summer vacation, somebody said on the chat, and you said positive experiences.
Even ringing
Exactly.
of bell was positive experience for many who want to just get rid of the class and take a break. Yeah.
Totally agree. So the beauty here is when we think of the past, we only mostly remember the good things that happened, not the opposite. So here, while we are, let us say, closing a project, we are all coming together for farewell or for closing a project. We're all coming together, and we can make these endings happy by talking about all these good things that happened through the course of the project. You can talk specifically to a particular person saying how his efforts have added value, and how the entire team as one have overcome a particular crisis that you had to face. So if you discuss all of these while ending the project in that so-called farewell meeting, I think that is something that remains in their minds for a long time, just like college farewells, just like school farewells. People remember farewells and also those good things that people have spoken about in the farewells. So happy endings is a great way to again stay on people's minds for a long time. So don't ever forget to close your projects on a high note. Very, very important to create memories and to maybe recall memories and to celebrate goodbye. Let's say there's a person who's talking to them, because you will stay on their brain. They'll definitely tell your name. This particular team, they have helped me with this particular job. You can go contact them. They might become leads also to you. So you never know how that's going to generate income for you and how that's going to make your product a better one, or reach a maximum number of people. So that's the power of celebrating goodbyes and happy endings for you. So we have seen a lot of ideas today. I think I have a quick unpolished slide. I'll ask for a sorry, but I'll definitely present them to you. See, look at these ethos. The trust element, when you introduce yourself powerfully, when you tell what you have done, people will definitely trust you. And when you are telling stories, just because they trust you, they trust your story. And when you're mentioning progress, they again trust you because you're keeping a track of the happenings, right? And comparative approach also creates an element of trust because they know one product is definitely closer to the product that they actually want. And when you're talking about similarities, when you're returning the favor, the norm of reciprocity, when you personalize, when you're telling stories, and when you celebrate endings, all of these is creating an emotional connect with the people. And logically, again, comparative approach is again a bit of logic. Rule of three is logic. Mentioning progress is also logical because it is telling them how much is done, how much is yet to be done, and the power of people. How many people have done a particular thing? How many people have bought your product or service? How many businesses have been benefited by your product or service? All of this is logos for you. So yes, thanks finally to this person called Aristotle, who was wise enough to wrap these three elements in this idea called rhetoric, and he gave it to the world, which has been in use at least from 2000 years today. And thanks to Aristotle, and thanks to all of you for attending the session on the power of persuasion. Let me remind all of you, your ability to persuade is the only skill that is required to get your business going. Thanks a lot. And I'm open to take questions. And it's 4:01. We began at 3:03. Any questions? Anything to pick with, bones to pick with, or to fight? Because feeling free to differ is one of the most beautiful elements of my sessions. You all don't want to differ? No questions? All right.
Happy ending will end on a positive note. Yeah. No differences of opinion.
No differences of opinion. Thanks a lot for saying that. I'm elated. You made my day. Thank you for passing that comment at least. Thanks a lot for attending the session. I will want to see all of you in more sessions in the future. Please do not please do not go away from learning calendar sessions. These happen twice every month. Please nominate yourselves and be here. I'd be happy to see you and happy to facilitate. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you so much, Madhuri.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Madhu, you too have
Madhu.
a